That's cool. You need a better song, though. Okay. You got your.
That's honey.
Yeah. Mr. Angry Man is back. I'm back. That's right. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Nah. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Listen. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. Y'all ain't know that I can rock like that. United we fall, divided we rise. That's all they ever see when they look in our eyes. I ain't the least bit surprised, and I don't even ask why I study. Looking for love and all we get is despise. They proper lying, what? Meaning they falsely prophesying, talking about we really living, but we steadily dying. Tired of mothers crying, damn, and fathers silently raging. There's gotta be a way to escape this situation now. Yup. Come on. Verse 2. We search for brighter days to escape the maladies, giving homage to the folks that passed away. I speak life with the words I say, and that's the weapon I use to keep the evil at bay. I don't play when it comes to mine. My rhymes speak of a revolution this time. It's by design, and I'ma drop these deposits. So if you scared, take your ass to the closet. Why? Let me tell you this. Let's go. I got one more verse for you. Hit them off with that verse. Listen to me now. Verse 3. I drop gems, representing lugs and Timbs with backpacks. I got props like Black Moon, they want effect like Dodge. I'm pouring mic like Nas. I'm the southern playalistic cat that beat them odds. I'm coming out hard. We coming out hard. Yes, sir. Y'all didn't know that I can rock like that. Ha. One time for your mind, representing for the deuce. That's right, put it down for the deuce tray. Let's go, Mr. Angry Man. Haha. Peace. Mic was not muted. There we go. So, okay, now I had to check my microphone, make sure it wasn't muted. Hey, y'all, what's happening? Welcome to Trailblazers Radio. More specifically, welcome to the Office Out of the Show, where we talk about everything literary, and we interview authors of all genres, and we talk about more than just books. We talk about life, we talk about purpose, we talk about how these books were crafted. I am your host, Mr. Frederick B. Thank you so very much for tuning in for us tonight. And yo, I got a wonderful, great, and powerful guest coming on tonight, man. But before we even get into all that stuff, man, first and foremost, let me let you guys know that hey, you can follow us on our various social media platforms. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on LinkedIn, we are also on Twitter, and we are also on Twitch. Yes, we do have a Twitch channel, and we go in and we go live. We go live on Twitch. We go live on Twitch on at least every other show. So make sure you follow us on our Twitch channel. Like us on our Facebook pages. Every Facebook page that's represented here. Trailblazer Radio, Critical Conversations, My Life as Destiny podcast, and Curvy World Travel Entertainment. Like us on all our various social media platforms, and also follow us on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. We are at 96 subscribers, man. Please, we're on the road to 100 subscribers. Do me a favor, check out our YouTube channel. Take a look at some of our videos. It's something that we do resonates with you or if you like it, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell notification so you can be notified every time we go live. Now, with all that out of the way, let me introduce our guest of the evening. First of all, this young lady doesn't require an introduction, but I'm gonna give her the best one that I know how to give to her. She is she's a powerful author. She's a mother. She's a businesswoman, and she is one half of the crew of Shaking Up The Algorithms podcast. Someone that I got to meet or Clubhouse, a great a cool person, man, and I actually got to be on one of their shows, and I actually brought them on our podcast on our platform, and we had a great time. Myself, her, and Dan, Mr. Crouch, and I am excited, number one, to have her here, and I'm looking forward to just talking a lot about her and about her book, and also her writing journey, and so many other things that we're going to be talking about tonight. So, without any further delay or ado, let me introduce to y'all the lady of the hour, Miss Shawaun Jones.
Hello, hello. So excited to
How
be
are
here.
yous?
I am doing great. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for, allowing me to grace your stage and your platform tonight.
Oh, it's all love, man. I appreciate y'all for I appreciate y'all for giving me the time for allowing me to grace y'all stage and y'all platform because I ain't gonna lie, that conversation that we had, even though I was late to the party, it was even though I was late to the party, it was still a great conversation. It was a good
Great.
build, and I was like, yeah, we gotta do that again. We gotta do
Yes,
that again.
yes, we do.
So yeah, so I'm excited to have you here, man. I appreciate you taking the time out of a Wednesday evening to be here.
No problem. No problem
Also,
at
I
all.
also
No
appreciate
problem.
you taking the time to because I know you know you're gonna be transitioning soon in a bit to watch Mr. Crouch do his thing.
Yes, yes.
So I'm most definitely gonna be respectful of the time, but also respectful of you as a supporter to make sure that your face is in the place.
Yes, yes. I
So let's
appreciate
go.
that.
Oh no, it's all like I said, it's all love, man. It's all love. So let's jump right into this thing, man. So writing, where this gift come from, or better yet, where
Ooh.
who helped cultivate it?
Well, honestly, life experiences is kind of what cultivated it. um, as a kid, I used to have notebooks that, I just would write stuff down all the time. And I was kind of like a scary kid,
Oh,
because it was so much chaos around me
right,
that I didn't really know how to defend myself, or speak up.
right,
So my tablets, my journals, they became my voice. So, when certain things would happen, even with my family or whatever, I would just go and write it down. I would literally say everything that I wanted to say at that moment. You know what I mean?
right.
And I would put it in a book. So, for me, that just became my refuge, being able to just write, you know.
Gotcha.
Um, and throughout my teenage years and things like that, that's where the love grew. I always read. I used to love reading. I loved the form of escape, and creating that fantasy. I always felt like I was living in a fantasy world. So that was my means of escape, from everything, all the hell I was dealing with. So this book um, definitely came from that. It stemmed from that.
That's what's up, man. I mean, you said you've been this is something you have done it always as a child since a kid. Now, was the writing born out of necessity, or was it just more of a coping mechanism?
It was a coping mechanism. And then it became a love.
It's
but it
funny. It's
started
funny
as
how
a coping mechanism.
it's funny how something that we use to cope with becomes something that we love doing.
True, true.
I find that really, really interesting. That something that we do to kind of help us ease pain or ease a burden, we end up liking it. We end up loving it, and all of a sudden it becomes like second nature to us.
It does. It does.
Now, did you now what the things that you wrote like in your journals and stuff like that? Was it always more? Was it always something about? Did you write more out of emotion, or was it just something just kind of expressing a like or dislike towards a situation or a person?
It was always a combination. I would talk about stuff that I was dealing with my family, or the differences. I would talk about, or I would write about what I dreamed my love life would look like. The guy I was liking, or the guy that I wanted to like, or the place that I wanted to live. Like, I always wrote as if I was somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere but where I was. Like Jenny in Forrest Gump. She said, just let me fly far, far away from here. You know what I mean? That's how I felt as a kid. I wanted to be anywhere but where I was. Because I had just I'm not gonna say it was all bad, but it wasn't all good.
Right.
And those times really made me just want to just leave everybody and start all over somewhere else. But as a kid, you don't have that option. So that's where my writing really took flight.
That's what's up. I like that, man, because I think a lot of when we start from that particular point of it, that beginning, you know,
Mm-hmm.
thinking about where we are as opposed to where we want to be or where we
Correct.
imagine ourselves to be. I think a lot of I know that I've done that as a kid, writing about where I wanted to be as opposed to where I am. I've
Yep.
always written. I've always written. But me, especially me and my brother, our imagination was like vivid. So we always wrote about wanting to be somewhere in outer space
Mm-hmm.
or somewhere in another galaxy or something like that. You know, faced with these impossible odds. I'm like, and we both just looked at it like, why are we? I mean, it was funny. It was funny. It wasn't funny to us because we took it seriously, but for everybody else, they thought it was just like they just thought it was like something like what are you guys doing? You guys are just writing. I'm like,
Right.
no, this is serious. This is serious to us. Now, did anybody now did you now I do gotta ask this because I know was something that was for me and my brother because we did allow people to look at the things that we created. Um, and I like to say this because I always use this as a kind of like a point of kind of connection between my guests. Me and my brother wrote a comic book, and my brother was responsible for the drawing. He did all the penciling, and I did a little bit. I did the coloring, but I also was responsible for the dialogue and the dialogue squares and the speech bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And we let our parents look at it. And they loved it because they didn't think our kid or they thought they already thought that us as their kids were very imaginative and very creative people. But then when we let other people look at it, y'all weird. Did you ever anybody let anybody look at what you wrote? And did they ever was there ever any type of negative or positive feedback from it?
Honestly, I never really let anyone look at it until I got to be about 9. And I had a cousin that was a teacher, and I had told her she would come by the house sometimes, and she noticed that I had all these journals, and she was like, "Oh my God, Shawan, do you mind if I could read some of your journals and da 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 da?" But I at the time, I didn't understand what the purpose of it was. I thought she was using it, to kind of coincide with, her teaching and things of that nature. But really, She was using it for other malice reasons. And I never got my journals back. I never got them back. She kept all my journals. Never saw her again after that. Nothing. She never
Ooh.
came by the house anymore.
So basically,
Um,
she used her writing for malicious purposes. Nah, that ain't good. That ain't
pretty
good.
much, pretty much, pretty much, pretty much,
So honest,
pretty
so I guess so
much.
I would think that because someone did that, you were very protective about what you put out there from that point forward.
Very, very, very. That
So
was like, anything that I wrote was like my pride and joy, So I was very particular about who I shared certain things with. You want me to hold this? Okay. I was very particular about, sharing my things. But as I got older, even in school, writing became, or just English class alone became like my favorite subject. Like I always wanted to write something, you know what I mean?
right.
And I'll never forget, like I have younger siblings. So my younger sister, she asked me to do her homework for English class one day, and they had to write a haiku poem, right?
Oh,
So she was like, I don't know how to do this. She was like, can you do it? I was like, yeah, I do it. So I did it for her. Come to find out, her teacher was so impressed with the poem that she went and had it published in a poem book with my sister's name on it.
ooh,
So to this day, my sister has published a published poem out there that's really mine. So, I learned a lot just from certain
wow.
experiences that I've had as far as really sharing my stuff or, putting it out there. After that, I was just to the point where I was like, man, I'm just not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to put a lot of effort into it. But up into my adulthood, I just kept having that unction like, I've got to write a book. Like, I don't know what I'm going to write, but I just know I'm going to write a book. Like, I'm going to write a book. And, this particular book, it came from a place of me really going through a healing journey. And not I don't know if you know, but in 2021 I was diagnosed with this really rare cancer called nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Now, prior to that, in 2017, I was already diagnosed with lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. So here it is, I've got this cancer. I'm in stage 4. They're basically telling me, oh, well, you're not going to make it past a year. And so I consider myself a walking miracle at this point. But this book, it going through that whole journey, it made me realize all of the past hurt from relationships, from my family, the anger I felt, the resentment that I felt, all of that had accumulated into causing this toxicity in my body. It's what made me sick, me holding on to all these ill emotions. So, once I got to the point where it was like, hey, I'm cancer free. I gotta tell the truth. Like I gotta speak this truth. Like I gotta get it out of me. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that's where the whole, writing even came from. I went on a huge spiritual journey afterwards, and for 13 weeks I was really diligent working with a spiritual coach. And once I finished, it was like the book just came out like running water. Like I just couldn't
Ooh,
stop writing. It was just coming out so fast. And I literally wrote like the first 10 chapters in 2 months.
whoa.
Yeah. Like so it was just a lot, just a flood of emotion. And then it was just like I'm done. But I wasn't
Yeah.
done. You know what I mean? I knew it was more to write, but it was just like I was exhausted by that point. Like I couldn't write anything else. And
Ooh.
so last year, the intention, I started in May of last year. My intention was to have the book out August the 8th. But it didn't work that way because I couldn't write anymore. And so for another 6 months, I just kind of sat on it. I kept looking at it like, I gotta write. I just don't have a desire. I just, other things took precedence. And I happened to talk to a friend, and she was like, well, Shawaun, have you ever thought that maybe God wants it to be a series? And I said, what? A series? And she was like, yeah, do a little bit now and then put another bit out later. And I was like, yo, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. So that's what I did. And that's how God, why me? How I
Ah.
survived life's trials with grace, music, and life changing affirmations came to be. So this is volume 1. And I'm going to get volume 2 out before the end of the year. And then volume 3 will be out next year.
Uh-oh. See, there we go. There we go. So one of the things that you mentioned that, and I wholeheartedly agree with you. For I know for me anyway, because that's how I approach writing. That's how I approach my writing. For and you know, for me, my writing was born out of painful experiences and the
Hmm.
journey that I had to take through those painful experiences, and what I learned along the way through all of that. Just like you, your journey was you use music, you use affirmations, you went on a deep spiritual journey to kind of discover more about who you were from the inside and out. And then from that, I think from that point, you probably wrote more towards what you experienced inside that and the manifestation of what happened from the outside. And you can correct me if I'm wrong from that, because I know that's how I approach writing.
Hmm. Hmm. No, you're
I
correct. You're correct.
Because wow, because I mean I won't even call that a coincidence, but I will call that something as like because but a lot of us as writers will write from that perspective. We write from I call it writing from the inside out.
Yeah.
You write from what you feel here in the heart, your heart and your soul and your spirit, and it all manifests into what's happened since that point, or what has happened
Right.
since that pain has been there, or has festered, swooned, or if you heal from it. Now, you said you use music and affirmations. Um, what part did well? And I got to ask you this because I know a lot of people will. I know some of my guests or some of my viewers and followers will ask this. What part did music play in that journey?
Oh my gosh, like music was my life then. Like it was my life. And the thing about this book is it chronicles, of course, my life, but it talks about key players in my life,
Right.
and the good and the bad roles that they played. Now, yeah, I do speak on, some of the negative things about certain people in my family. And I'll
Ah.
be honest, it took a lot of courage for me to come out and even talk about some of this stuff. But there
Oh.
are so many people that I know for a fact that have experienced a lot of what I've gone through and never talked about it. Um, and I've always believed that you can't, wounds can't heal if you don't take the band-aid off, So for me, this book was like taking off the band-aid, you know what I'm saying, of my life. And when I was young, my uncle, my mom's brother, he loved music. Like he used to sing all the time. And, he used to tell me stories about him, being a teenager and all these talent shows and things like that. So being that I was the first grandchild in the family, he did everything around music with me. Like he would put me to sleep with music. He would sing to me with music. I was like the only kid 5, 6, and 7 years old that knew songs from the 70s and the 60s because that's what that's what he played for me all the
Wow.
time. So I grew up around music all the time. You know what I mean? And again, it just got to a point where I could just listen to certain songs and it would soothe me. Or, I at a very young age, like I said, I would listen to the lyrics. A lot of kids now, they just listen to the beat. But when you really listen to the lyrics of songs, you hear the intention, you hear the emotion, you hear the love or the hate or whatever that's, behind it. And that was what fueled me. So um R&B was my friend. R&B was my friend. When I was going through things, I would just turn on the music and I would just sing in my room all the time. I used to sing back in the day a lot, so that was my escape. Yet again, that was my escape. But music has really brought me through a lot of tough times. Listening to certain songs, helped to get me through those times, where I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to maneuver or how to adjust to the changes that were happening in my life. So, yeah, that played a
Wow.
major, major role.
Well, so since we're talking about music, because I know for me, music is one of those things that I is a is a great tool for me because number one, it's
Mm-hmm.
like for me, like unlike you, music is life for me. And
Correct.
there's so many things, there's so many people, artists that I listen to. Um, I try not to listen to now. This is no shade on today's rap. I don't listen to that type of stuff. I do listen to a lot
Right.
of I do listen to a lot of instrumentals and a lot of beats and stuff like that. Those are though I listen to those types of things, but I also listen to a lot of jazz, a
Right.
lot of a lot of now. But for those of y'all who are X years old, and some of y'all remember what neo soul is, right? For those of y'all who are X years old, so a lot of a lot of music, soul child, NDRE, Floetry, uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Rez, a lot of those cats, a lot of those people, a lot of those artists are still in my rotation,
Yeah,
and I listen to them a lot.
definitely in mine.
Oh, and then every I think no playlist would be complete without at least one or two songs from Mary J. Blige.
Man, I'm a look. Let me just tell you a little something about this book here, right? Because this is what makes it even more special, right? Every chapter title is a song
Wow.
that represents some stage in my life or something from that song, counteracts the actual chapter. So that was the kind of spin that I put on the whole music front. Yeah, go ahead. That was the spin I put on the whole music front because I'm trying to gain my light here. Okay, there we go.
Ah,
Um
I see your
my
I see your light D. I
spotlight's
see your
gone.
light left.
Yeah, my spotlight's gone a little bit, but that's okay. Um, but yeah, each chapter is a different song. Mary J. Blige, she man, from the time I was like 18, 19, you know, it was Mary on heavy rotation. Heavy
Love.
rotation. And it's so funny because honestly, the extent of her depression during What's the 411 and My Life album, I lived that with her. Like I went
Ooh.
through that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, I grew up, I grew right along with her, just to see, even as a musician, how she has progressed. I feel like that is a part of what I want to display in my book as well, the progression. Yes, I've gone from this stage, and now as a woman, this is where I am. But you don't know what it took for me to get here. You know what I'm saying? People look at me now and they're like, oh man, you look great, or you got it together, or this, and the third. And I'm just like, no, I don't. You know what
Oh,
I'm
do
saying? I
not.
really don't. You know what I'm saying? But you don't understand what it took for me to get to this place, to be able to actually love looking at myself in the mirror, or love who I am. You know what I'm saying? There was a time that I didn't love myself at all. I didn't even value myself.
Oof.
That's why I put myself in toxic relationships, or, making these ill decisions, regarding my life and things of that nature, because I didn't value me.
Oof.
So I really wanted to be able to, be forthright and transparent with letting people know, hey, I had to go through a lot to get to where I am right now. This took a lot of work. This was not easy, but I'm thankful and I'm grateful to be in this place now, where now I can actually, help others. You know what I'm saying? By telling my story, help other people to want to tell their story as well.
And I get it. And music speaks to a lot of people
It does.
on a very, very, very intimate level. Because
Mm-hmm.
what the lyrics that somebody be sing or singing, or singing, pretty much can mirror what they're going through in their personal life.
Oh yeah.
And I get what you mean when you say that, like, with a lot of the things that you related to to Mary J. Blige's two albums, about What's the 411 in My Life, and you saw that. It's crazy when someone else's life mirrors your own.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the same experiences, not necessarily the same experiences, but certain shared experiences.
Right.
And like I said, you were going through your depression, and then she was going through hers, and you're like, and both of y'all like, well, and I know you, as you were listening to her, you're like, well, how the hell am I gonna get up out of this right now? I'm listening to her,
True.
she going through a whole bunch, but how the hell am I gonna get up out of mine?
True. True.
I mean, I know for me, now I want to ask you this, because I know, because this is something that I know that holds true for me. Are there any particular songs that you listen to now that speak to a specific part of your life?
Mm. Um.
It could be several songs.
It is several. It is several. I'm gonna be honest. There's several. Um. Of course, Mary J. Blige. She got a few of them that I'm in love with. But I'm gonna be honest with you. That song she's got out now, "Good Morning Gorgeous," that just speaks to me in every which way, because that was me. You know what I mean? So it's like, now I have to tell myself, good morning, gorgeous. You are beautiful. Like, you are, you know what I'm saying? You are a prized possession, because for so long I did not believe that. I would
Ooh.
hear other people tell me that, but I didn't believe it. I didn't believe, that I was capable. I didn't believe that I was talented. I didn't believe any of this. I didn't believe that I was going to write a book. I knew I was supposed to, but I didn't even think I had the talent enough to do it, you know? So it what's some other good songs? Hold on, let me think. What's some other good songs? Um, that one rings true. There's a, who is, who is it by? Layla Hathaway. She has this song called "That Was Then and This Is Now."
Oh man.
Man, when I heard that, I was like, yo. this is my life right here. This is my life. You know, so that's gonna be one of my chapters in my next book. So
Oh,
both of those, both of those actually. Good Morning Gorgeous, and That Was Then and This Is Now. That's gonna be in
there we
chapter
go.
two, in
I love
volume
that.
two. But yeah, those two songs really, resonate with me in so many different ways. And like I said, music fuels me, and it gives me motivation, and it also allows me to be able to capture, when I'm writing, it helps me to capture how I want to say things, um how I want my reader to feel when they read
Right.
my book,
There we
so
go.
it definitely helps.
Yeah. I mean, I know for me, there are at least for me, I guess there are three songs that I think of when I think of, you know, my life. There's several more, but there are three that stick out more prominently. Let's
Hmm.
see. One of them is uh Somewhere I Belong by Linkin Park. Puddle of Mud by Blurry
Mm.
by Puddle of Mud, and True by Lloyd. So in each one of those songs speak to
Oh, I
a
love that
specific
one too.
man. Look here, Eric. That's all right. That's all right there by Lloyd. That is it pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah, that.
Me personally, I can relate to that, but not on a deeper level instead of I can relate to him to what he's singing on a deeper level, on a internal level than an external level. I listen to the lyrics, of course, but I look at the deeper meaning of it. What he's talking about, all these things that he went through,
Hmm.
what he what he had, what he lost, and the lessons that he
Right,
learned,
right.
what the lessons that he learned through having and losing, and then understanding that he had to grow through all of that stuff. I'm like, oh, I said, yes, sir.
Exactly.
Let's do that. Let's do that. But I mean, and
Exactly.
I'm glad you said that music plays a role in what you write. You know, one of the other things that you mentioned in their title is affirmations.
Hmm.
How has affirmations how is affirming yourself, how is that played in not only your personal development but also in your development as a writer? How is those affirmations that you speak to yourself um every morning or every night or during the day, how big of a role have those played?
Honestly, like I said, they played a huge part because um I've incorporated affirmations, I would say, since right after, my cancer.
Right.
Um, it it became something that I had to do in order to even keep me going.
Right.
Um, to keep me motivated, to keep me pushing. For so long I was always doing for everybody else, putting everybody before myself. So it became a part of my self-care. I had to do this for me. And some days I would have like affirmations where I would do at least 10 affirmations every day.
Right.
I would write them in the morning and I would write them at night, and I would be consistent. I would just speak things over my life, whether it was to increase my business or to have a healthier mindset or a more positive mindset, um, to tell myself that I love you every day.
Right.
Those little things I needed to help build me up. And yeah, I needed that. Like I wouldn't be here if I didn't do that.
You had to do that. I mean, I love that because that's so true. Because we have to
Mm-hmm.
speak life into ourselves daily, and we have to show up for ourselves daily. I mean, I did a show, me and LSG did a show a couple of weeks, like, well, shoot, a week ago, talk about showing up for yourself. The
Right.
best, and this is one of the things that you can do to show up for yourself, to affirm yourself daily. Because like you said, earlier. You did so much for other people that you didn't do enough for yourself. And when it was time for you to do for yourself, you were already depleted.
Right.
Oof. That's
Yeah.
and I could
Yeah,
I
definitely.
don't think I could ever see myself in that position again. I don't think I could ever see myself like
Yeah.
that in that position again. But this life we live is quite fickle. So you never so there's a chance. Not sure how
Mm-hmm.
strong that chance is, but there's a chance that we both could be in that position again. But
True.
now we have the tools to get up out of it. And I love how you incorporate the music, how you incorporate affirmations, but also I think one of the things that well, I think a lot of people that are probably may go over a lot of people's heads is the spiritual part of it. The role
True.
that the role that having a relationship with God plays. The the importance of having a relationship with God plays and
Correct.
understanding that where you are isn't where you're isn't always where you're going to be.
Correct.
Speak a little bit about that. How important it is to have a relationship with God as it pertains to your journey.
Well, for me, I didn't grow up in the church or anything like that.
Right.
I was always trained to go, with other people in my neighborhood. Some of the
Right.
old, we had like an old elderly couple that lived across the street. And my grandma
The
made me
old
go with them,
heads.
you
The old
know.
heads.
Um, but I really didn't, I guess you could say I really didn't come to a relationship or even the knowledge of one until I was in my 20s. And even then, I was still ripping and running and doing my own thing. So
Yep.
um, it didn't really hit me yet.
Ah,
Um, but one thing I will say, I feel like even though I didn't have what would be considered the strongest foundation when it comes to having a relationship with Christ, I believe even those little segue moments that I had, that helped to keep me. I feel like God always had his hand on my life in
right.
some way, shape, or form, even when I wasn't equipped to extend that same reciprocity to him. You know,
Ah,
he still kept me. There have been many instances, and some in which I've spoke of in this book, where I have tried to take my life could have been taken from somewhere else, from somebody else, because
right.
I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. God made sure that I was always protected. So it just heightened my spiritual walk now that I'm older, because looking back, it's just like, damn, Shawan, you really have been kept in his bosom. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so much trust me, so much has happened. There have been instances where I'm telling you, I could be locked up right now. I could be in, you have no idea, no idea.
Ooh,
You know what I mean? And God has really kept me. He has kept me. Um, Now, some of those instances I do talk about in this book, I've one thing I will say, some of the names I have changed,
to
got to
protect the innocent.
protect the innocent and the guilty,
Right.
got to protect them all. But um, yeah, I was very open and transparent in allowing people to see the ins and outs of me in this book.
Man, I tell you, I agree because God keeps us even when we feel that we are not kept. I have to agree. I have to agree with you on that one. And I think
Yes.
and I strongly believe that it's the staying power of God that keeps us through those rough times, through those horrible times, through those times where we feel like we're going through the fire, but then we come out of that fire, we don't even smell like smoke.
Correct. Correct.
Cause I know I'm like you sometimes. I'm like this go through a really tough test and be like, damn, I made it through that.
Exactly.
I was
Exactly.
going that was supposed to take me right on out. What happened?
You're right. You're
And
right.
I think a lot of things that are supposed to take us out, they don't because this is something that I believe strongly that God places His hand on that thing and says, nope, not today.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
will not take my son or my daughter. Not today. Maybe another time.
Correct.
Maybe another time when I ain't paying attention, but I'm paying attention. I'm like, I love that. I love that because the simple fact of the matter is, I mean, I'm like you. I didn't. My relationship wasn't had always been A1
Mm-hmm.
with God. There have been times oh God, I backslid so many times. I could actually, if it was
Yeah.
if it was snowing, it would be easy for me to slide down that hill.
Oh
I,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I've done that so many times, and every time that I think that I'm at like the lowest point, of like God said, nah, bro, come on, get up off your back. We got a lot of work to do. Take this hammer, take this sickle, let's go. I'm like,
Right.
and I'm pretty sure we I think you probably say the same sentiment. And I'll be like, no, I don't want to do this. Be going, kicking and screaming like, God, I don't want to do this. You sure? Are you sure I'm equipped for this? I don't really don't want to do
Mm-hmm.
this. You finna place me in front of people that I have no idea who they are.
Yep.
You finna you finna introduce me to people that I don't even want to be that I honestly don't want to talk to. And I really don't. Well, you finna put me in front of people that I don't have any. We don't share no common. That I feel we don't share any commonality.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm putting you in front of these people for a reason, or I'm putting you in this space for a reason.
Right. Right.
And I always hear guys say there's a reason why I put you here. There's a reason why
Correct.
you're in front of the people that you're in front of. There's a
Mm-hmm.
reason why you're building these relationships with these people. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm going because you told me to go. I'm just going because I'm going because you pointed that way, and I said you said go that way, and I just followed. I just went the direction you told me to go. It's not like I had any choice in the matter.
Wow.
You pointed that way, so I get it. I do get it. It's I really appreciate. I really like the your journey because you come a long way from where you are to get to where you get to, for where you've been to get to where you are, and that's something that I most definitely appreciate and
Correct.
I admire about you because there's a lot of people that are like you who have started from that bottom rung of
Right.
that ladder, and you've climbed that ladder to get to where you are, and this is like this is only beginning from beginning to where you are. You
It is.
do you feel
It is.
do you feel like you are at the top? Do you not want to say at the top? Do you feel like you're finally getting to where you feel you need to be or where you want to be?
I feel like I'm headed in the right direction.
There we go.
I'm
I
not
think
quite there yet, but I'm definitely heading in the right direction finally. You know what I mean, in my life. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited.
I love that because I think a lot of us at this point. I say this for myself too. A lot of us need a course correction.
Right, right.
And I also say a lot of us need a lot of our ships or our cars either need to be in a shipyard or the auto shop. Seriously though, I
And
like
that's true.
I compare our lives to that because you know if you if you ride on a road long enough, or if you ride on a road long enough, your car will take wear and tear. If you travel on the ocean long enough, the boat that you're traveling on, whether it's a dinghy, whether it's a speedboat, whether it's
Right.
a yacht or passenger or a big old passenger ladder, passenger ladder or even a warship. After a while, all the beating and banging that the ocean it acts on that or it acts on your boat. Eventually, it's got to go to a shipyard.
Mm-hmm.
It's just got to be repaired.
Correct. Correct.
And and I'll say this and you let me know if this is something that's true that may be true in your life.
Mm-hmm.
God puts us in that shipyard because the ocean that we're not ready to travel on, the ocean that He wants us, the ocean or the road that He wants us to travel on. So we got to go into this place to be repaired, refitted, renewed, and refreshed, or restored, it so that way the vehicle that we travel on can take the knock, the beat, the bumping, and the bruising, and the beating and the banging that life is going to continually throw at us.
Right.
Man, I thought it was a powerful thing. I don't know about anybody else. That's
No,
what I.
and it really is, but that also ties into the last component in the title, talking about grace. Because sometimes
Ooh,
we have to get to a point when we extend ourselves enough grace. You know what I mean? Even when, those times are hard, or, you got people that's just mistreating you and things of that nature. When you really get to that place where you can extend, or you can offer grace to somebody else, especially those that have wronged you, that really lets you know that you are on the up and up to where you need to be. For real.
ooh,
And
and
I'm gonna be honest, it took me a minute to get to that point. It took me a
oof,
minute. You know, some of the people, even my own family members that have wronged me, I mean, show enough wronged me. You know what I mean? It's like now I just have a certain grace for them, because I understand their plight. And I think that was what I had to learn the most. I had to put
right,
myself in their shoes to understand why they treated me the way that they did, why they hurt me the way that they did. And ultimately, it was because they experienced their own hurt and they just didn't know how to process that. So
right.
it becomes repetitive. It becomes easy for you to hurt other people. That's why they say hurt people hurt people. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
big
it
time.
becomes it becomes easy. So the way that they were bleeding on me, it was because somebody bled on them. You know what I
Man.
mean? It's just habitual. So somebody had to break the cycle. And
Oh
that
yeah.
was where I came in. I had
Yeah.
to break the cycle because I did not want to continue that pattern with my children and with my lineage. It's got to stop here.
Ooh.
So,
I. s-
I told my kids when I wrote this book, because they were the first ones I told, and I said, look, I'm going to be honest with you. It's some stuff in this book that may make you look at some of our family differently. I said, but don't.
See.
I said, this is my perspective, but at the same time, that's why I wrote it the way that it did, because yes, I talked about those negative aspects, but at the same time, it's I also put in there what impacted them enough to do what they did. You know,
Right.
um, for an example, I'll use this as an example. My mother, God rest her soul, um, I talked about an experience in the book where I was around maybe 5 or 6, maybe. And I noticed my mom's behavior had changed. Um, she was doing a lot of crazy stuff. She was in and out, in the streets and things like that. And honestly, this was around the time of the real height of the drug epidemic in the 80s,
Right.
right? So I'm a product of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a product of that. Um, but I didn't know how bad it was. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I didn't think my mom was one of the people doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
And
man,
I
really?
guess my mom's sister knew. And one day my mom's sister came to pick me up from our apartment, and my mom was in her room. Now, mind you, we had all kinds of people in and out of our house frequently, high or whatever, but
Ooh,
I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I
right.
didn't know that's what it was. And my aunt, she said, "You want to see what your mother does?" And she
Oh
bust
man.
open the room, and my mom was sitting there with the tourniquet on her arm, about to shoot up. And
Oh
she was
man.
like, "Close the door, close the door," And from that point on, it was just like, I didn't know how to process that.
Oh man.
Although, although, um, my biggest thing was, that's my mom. I'm gonna defend her to the end. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
I started noticing how other people mistreated her or made her feel less than. And I was like, no, you don't talk about her like that. I became her defender. And from that point on, I think our roles changed,
Oh man.
because I became more like the parent to her. So I would be like, "Well, mom," well, I didn't call her mom. My mom didn't really like for me and my siblings to call her mom. So we called her
Right.
by her first name. Her name was Cheryl. And I'd be like, "Cheryl, why are you out there? Why are you out there?" And da 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 da. And she'll just come back and she'll be like, "Yeah, I know. I know. I won't do it
Wow.
again, Shawaun." I mean, that's the extent of our relationship. But we were like friends. We were the
Right.
best of friends. You know what I mean? But I would defend her no matter what. I don't care what nobody said about her. I don't care. I mean, she got really bad for a while,
Right.
but I still defended her. You know what I mean? And like I told my kids, there are certain aspects of my family that they've never seen before, they've
Right.
never heard of. And I brought it out in this book. And I said, at the end of the day, don't look at them, any differently, because we all have our own crosses to bear. We all have a certain journey that we've had to go through. Some of us, had the opportunity to correct our wrongs, where some of us didn't. My mother didn't
Right.
get that opportunity. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But I feel like even with my mom's situation, God had a way of escape for her, because
Right.
she was literally on the road to death. She was going to die, right?
Right.
Because of the reckless decision she was making. And what God ended up doing was, my mom ended up being in an accident when I was 14, and she was hit by a motorcycle and she received brain damage, and she was like that for the next 26 years.
Oh man.
But until she passed, I think that was God's saving grace for her, because she needed to slow the hell down and she didn't know
Right.
how
Right.
you know so sometimes God will put you in a position where you have no choice. You know what I mean? If you don't make a change, he's going to shift some things or alter some things so that you don't have a choice anymore.
Right.
you
It
know
is,
um
man. And as tragic as it
so
sounds, it it's as tragic as it sounds, I think that was the thing that literally slowed her down.
Correct. Correct. It did. It did. You know, it gave her an opportunity to really assess over her life. You know, she didn't have the same memory, so to speak, but
Right.
it drew her closer to God.
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe she resolved a lot, you know, during that time frame. You know, it made her think about, you know, the people that mattered and the ones that didn't, you know.
See? Got it.
And so, you know, I believe when she left, she was at peace, you know.
She had to
Funny
be.
story though. Funny story. Um, and I talk about that in the book too. But funny story. My mom, the night that she passed, she literally passed June the 9th. She passed 3 days after my 40th birthday. And I got the call from the nursing home, and I'm just like, well, damn. I mean, she died hours ago, and y'all just telling me, like, what is going on?
What the
And then
hell?
like, oh, but exactly. That's a whole other story. That's a whole other story for another day. But
Oh Lord.
um, so I rushed to get to the hospital where they had taken her body or whatever. And my sister, that's 8 years younger than me, she said, well, I'm gonna go with you. I said, all right. She was like, are you sure you're okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. You know, it was an initial shock, but at the same time, it was almost like a sigh of relief, you know,
Ah,
because my mom had been, you know, incapacitated in a nursing home for all this time. And it's like now she's finally free, you know. So when I get to the hospital or whatever, they're like, okay, well, her body's over here. You can go look. When I walked in there, I'll never forget. She was laid out on the stretcher, but her eyes were open.
what?
So her eyes were open. So I went in and I was talking to her like a regular conversation, like a regular visit that I would have had with her at the nursing home. And I laughed. I talked about something funny, and you know, and I told her, you know, I'm gonna miss her in the spirit. I mean, in the physical realm, but I knew she was gonna be okay. I knew she was always gonna be with me.
Right.
So I went to close her eyes. She would not close her eyes, right?
Right. Oh man.
So I just kept talking. I said, okay, well, maybe you just want to talk some more. So I went to close her eyes again. She would not close her eyes, right? So I said, well, I guess you really trying to be funny. I said, you know, you just really trying to look at me for as long as you can. Hey, I'm good with that, you know.
Right.
I said, but I'm gonna go so, you know, my sister could come in. So I walked out, my sister went in, and I'm outside in the hallway waiting for her. She wasn't even in there that long, and she came back out and she was like, oh yeah, well, I closed Cheryl's eyes. And I bust out laughing, you know, inside, because it was like, wow, you know, it just, you know, her and my mom, they really didn't have a relationship like that, but my mom and I did, you know.
Right.
So it just proved even more to me how connected we are. You know what I'm saying? How
Right.
spiritually connected we are, and how we'll always be even in death. You know, even now, like my mom, she still comes to me when I'm going through something. I will see something outside, you know, my window, and it will remind me of her. Or um I have a big thing with cardinals, right?
Ooh,
And
I love
whenever
cardinals.
I'm going through something, a cardinal will show up, and I know it's her, you know, or my uncle, because they'll come in twos, you know, and I'm just like, wow, you know what I mean? So spiritually, I know we're still connected. She's still a part of me, and I carry her with me wherever I go, you know. So,
Wow.
but
I love that.
uh Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know,
Oh, look
it's
here.
so many, it's so many tidbit, things in the book that I'm telling you, there's things that will make you laugh, it's things that'll make you cry,
Wow.
but it's definitely a lot that will make you think,
Oh,
and that's what I wanted to do, give people some thought, literary work.
there you
So
go. I
I'm
love that.
excited.
I love that. So,
I'm excited.
like I said, I know that Mr. Crouch is probably. I know you're going to want to support Mr. Crouch, and now most definitely
Yes,
going to
because
respect that particular time.
he is hitting me up. He keeps hitting me up and like, come on, come on. I
Look,
hate
so
to cut this short. I
no, no,
swear
no,
I do.
no. You good, you good. So I'm gonna give you this chance to let everybody know who you are, where they can find you at, and also um where your book is, and also where your book is. So go ahead, you got it.
Yes. Yes. All right. So, to let you all know, just so you can see the book again, it is God, Why Me? How I Survived Life's Trials with Grace, Music, and Life Changing Affirmations. You can find it on Amazon, or you can go to my website, thelotusvision.com. You can purchase your book there. You can also purchase an autographed copy if you like. And because you are watching this show tonight, Authors Alley has a promo code. If you go on to the lotusvision.com, put in Authors Alley code, it should be under promo 20. You'll receive 20% off of your purchase. And that promo code is going to be good until Saturday, October the 14th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So, for all of you that are watching tonight or may catch the replay, you can purchase your book at the website using that promo code, and you're going to get your book at
Now is it
20%
promo
off.
20 or is it Author's Alley?
Promo 20. Promo
Okay,
20.
gotcha.
Yes, promo 20. You can also find me on Facebook under the Lotus Vision or at Shawaun Jones. And on IG, you can find my personal page under Phoenix to Rise and my book page, The Lotus Vision.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. And I'm typing all this stuff in right now. So listen, y'all, readers. I was saying yes. I'm speaking to y'all. Do me a solid,
Yes.
y'all. Do me a good solid. Go to this website www.lotusvid. The Lotus. It's called the Lotus Vision.
The Lotus Vision, correct.
So go to this website www.thelotusvision.com. Use this code promo 20. That'll get you 20% off on your purchase of this book.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
and it's, and it's gonna be a personalized copy.
Correct.
So do me that solid and go now. It's available on Amazon, but I highly suggest and implore you to go to her website and use a promo code so that way you will get that 20% off of your purchase.
Correct.
And by doing that, you're also going to be supporting a fellow author just like me. And do me another quick solid, man. Do me this quick solid. After you read this book, please leave this young lady a review.
Please, please.
I'm gonna say,
Because I will post it. I will post it on my website.
yep.
Trust me. I will put it on there.
Not to mention that she's gonna purchase it. Not to mention she's gonna post it on her website. Reviews, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, they help us as writers. They really do.
Correct.
They help us improve our craft, but they also help us bring out better content to you guys. So please,
Yes.
you read this. If do not pick up this book and then read it and not leave a review, because if you do that, you're really just doing a disservice to the author. Because
Correct.
I'm gonna say this, and I've said this on more than one occasion. There are so many times that we as authors write things that come from the depths of our soul and our
Mm-hmm.
spirits, and we put this out on paper for everybody to consume. And I'm not saying that reviews give us our just due, but reviews help us, man. They really
They
do,
do.
y'all. So
They
don't
do.
so don't pick up this book and read it without giving it up or give it a review. I know that I'm gonna personally go purchase me a copy. Now remember, y'all, this promo code is good until the 14th, which is this coming Saturday.
Saturday, correct.
So, so make sure y'all pick up this book so y'all get that 20% off. Good until this Saturday. So again, I know Crouch is doing what he's gonna do. I'm gonna let you get up out of here, but Shawan, thank you so very much for
No,
hanging out
thank
with us today,
you.
man. Oh yeah, do it. Oh yeah, please plug y'all podcast platform too.
Yes, yes, y'all. Look, we're getting ready to come up with season 5 of Shaking Up the Algorithms. We're doing a whole H Town Chronicles segment, because we're now in Houston, Texas. So we're about to do it big. Everything's big in Texas. So
Hey, that it is.
season 5 is about to be huge. And we are definitely looking forward to, everyone coming out and supporting our show. We're still going to be live on YouTube on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So make sure that you keep an eye out. If you want right now, catch some of our replay shows, even watch the one with, Fred that was on it,
Hey,
called what was the name of that show? Who are the gatekeepers?
yeah.
Yes, come and check out the show, like and subscribe. We're definitely trying to build our following, and I just appreciate everyone that's able to support in any which way you can.
Look, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. They got their over there on that platform. They got some great stuff going on. I promise you. They they got some time that I'll put like this. When I was on that gatekeeper show, yes indeed. Yes indeed. Crouch and Mr. Crouch and Miss Jones, they got something going on, and me personally, I most definitely want to continue to keep collaborating with y'all because I mean, I think a lot of things that we talk about intersect, and we most definitely got some. I'm gonna get with you a day because I got some ideas I want to push to y'all, but yo, like I said,
Right.
I'm gonna let you get up out of here, man. But I enjoyed you, Shawan. Look, best of luck in all your endeavors. Um,
Thank you so
Tell Mr.
much.
Crouch I said good luck, man, and
Look, man,
make sure you tear the
I'm
stage
about to
down.
post it live. I'm about to post it live so everybody can see. Like, this is gonna be big. Like, I'm super excited to see him in his spoken word element. So make sure y'all paying attention because I'm about to post it on Facebook Live, y'all. Look.
All right. So we looking forward to catch that on the live and show up again. I thank you so very much for coming on here.
Thank you.
I'm gonna let you get up out of here, man. And I'm gonna let you get up out of here and I will close us out. So you have a great evening and tell Mr. Crouch
Thank you so
good
much.
luck and tell him I am proud. I am a proud brother over here. Keep doing his thing, man, and I'm gonna keep supporting.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm gonna let him know too.
Yes, ma'am. You have a great evening.
All right, you too. Thank
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
Fred.
You welcome. Yo, y'all. That was Miss Shawaun Jones. Yo, check out her book, God, Why Me? Currently available on Amazon right now. But also, I implore you guys to go to www.thelotusvision.com. Use promo code, use code promo20 to get 20% off the purchase of the book. This is good until October the 14th. Make sure you go grab their book, but also check out their podcast, check out the algorithms right there, right there right there on YouTube. They have a great platform over there. I was a guest on one of their shows, and they have some great stuff going on over there. So make sure you guys tune in to that and make sure you guys vibe out to them because yeah, they have some great stuff going on. Now, couple announcements that I want to make before I get up out of here tonight. First announcement is going to be this: tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Trailblazers Radio is in the house. We are we are celebrating 3 years of being a podcast platform. 3 years. Time sure does fly when you are when you're having fun and when you are in your element. Um, so all the hosts from Trailblazers Radio are going to be here. Quint Jones, Coco Fenton, LHG, myself, and we are just going to celebrate and celebrate the 3 years that we've been a platform, 3 years that we've been together. Talk about some ups, downs, and pitfalls of being a platform. Um, we may also have some guests come in the house now. If you guys are watching this, if you are a former guest and you are watching this, by all means, if you want to come on and be a guest on the show, I have the live link that I can email to you, or I can send to you via messenger, or I send it to you via text. If you want to come on, most definitely come on and just chop it up with us for a few moments, even if you with or hanging out with us for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, just to say congratulations and just speak some kind words to us. We're all good with that. Or if you want to hang out with us for an extended time. By all means, you're more than welcome to do that as well. Also, guys, make sure that you're continually following My Life Has Destiny podcast, Critical Conversations with LHG, as well as Girl Chat Weekly. Yo, these ladies are putting out some great content, and I promise you that everything that they put out has been fire, fire, fire. And then with me coming behind bringing up the rear with the check-in podcast, as well as the about the Irrepressible Authors Alley podcast. I'm also bringing Trailblazers with Frederick Beatty back. I got some guests lined up. Got a great guest lined up for that first episode of the not a first episode, but a renewal of that. So man, we got some great things coming down the pike, y'all. So I want y'all to stay locked into us. Like I said before, tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are celebrating 3 years. The actual um, 3-year thing is on the 14th, which is a Saturday, and I'll put a post up about that. But what we are going to be celebrating, we're going to be celebrating early. So make sure you guys are in the building. Make sure you guys tune in with us, rock out with us, rock out with us, man. So we appreciate everything that you guys are, everything that you guys do, everything that you guys are to us. It does not go unnoticed, man. It does not go unnoticed. We love our supporters, and we want to make sure that we're giving you, our supporters, the best content that we can give you guys from every perspective, and from every perspective and from every angle. One thing I like to say over here at Trailblazer Radio, we aren't afraid to have those conversations. We're not afraid to have those conversations. We're not afraid to open closeted doors. We all four of us, we tell it like it is, period. And we're unapologetic. We're unapologetic in what we say. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to end tonight's special episode of the Office Alley with be your host, Frederick Beatty. Once again, thank you, Shawaun Jones, for coming in and showing up and showing out tonight, man. Again, her book, God Why Me, is currently available on Amazon, but I do implore you guys to go to her website, www.thelotusvision.com. Go to the website, purchase the book on the website. There is a promo code. Use the code promo20. That's PROMO, the number 20, and you'll get 20% off your purchase of the book. And the good thing about this is the book will be a personalized copy. Now, this promo code is available until October the 20th, so make sure you take advantage of that as well. But hey, with that being said, I'm about to get up out of here, man. I love y'all to life, and I love y'all to live. Oh, one other thing that I want to tell y'all, man. One thing that I want to kind of tell y'all. Um, I have a Facebook page that is currently up. It's called Man Cave Conversations. Um, this is the idea of a gentleman by the gentleman that me and Shawan talked about, David Crouch. It was an idea that he gave me to use as a vehicle for us as men to have honest conversations, honest, true, and fruitful conversations. This is a Facebook group, and I implore my brothers to jump into how to check out Man Cave Conversations on Facebook and follow the page. Um, I do my best to put a post out daily. I do my best to put a post at least one or two posts out daily. I kind of have been slacking on the daily question, um, but I do my best to try to put out at least one to two posts daily. As far as engagement, I am going to increase that engagement to be more active within the group. But please do me a favor, follow Man Cave Conversation because look, y'all, there are some conversations. There are some conversations that we as men need to have, and these conversations need to be talked about, need to be spoken about, need to be talked about at length. So, brothers, do me a favor, follow Man Cave Conversations on Facebook. Um, I promise you guys. Let me tell you guys, it is a safe space. There's a safe space for you as men to to be transparent, to be speak your piece and speak your mind. It is a safe space. I promise you, it's a safe space. But yo, I'm gonna get that. That does it for me tonight. I'm gonna get up out of here. Make sure you guys tune in on Thursday. Trailblazer Radio celebrated their 3-year anniversary. Big shout out to my host, my sisters that walk with me on this journey, man. Um, I appreciate you guys for hanging here, sticking in with me for 3 years. For these 3 years, it is not lost on me. But I'll get more into the sentimentalities of that tomorrow. But yo, I gotta get up out of here. I think I'm talking too much, so I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Love y'all to life. Love y'all to live. Um, as I always say when I close these shows out, number one, take care of each other. Number two, be kind, and be good to each other. But lastly, it's a crazy ass world out here, y'all. So please, please, and please, y'all, please be safe out there. I love y'all, and ain't nothing you can do about it. And I am about to be outro. Peace.